Let's bring in Judge Jeanine Pirro, the host of Justice here on the News Channel. Welcome outside.
Who was that?
Thank you.
You were up late last night.
Summer's here. Yeah. Did
Hannity? You did a great job. I was watching.
Thank you. And tonight.
It's great to have you. So a couple of things are going on right now. It just began revealed, I think it's in the Washington Post today, that John Dowd was very close, along with Ty Cobb, to cutting a deal with the president to sit down with the Mueller crew at Camp David between 2 to 6 hours. They even scripted in bathroom breaks.
Back in
January, but it has since fallen apart. Was that a good move? And what would be the next move if Judge Jeanine was in charge?
If I were in charge, the president would be playing golf right now. There is no way the president should appear before Bob Mueller. Think about it. If a sitting president cannot be indicted, and if this president were to be questioned, it would only be for the purpose of an indictment. The legislative branch is not going to be in a position, which is what Mueller would like, to get the testimony of the president so that they can then use it to impeach him. That's the problem.
But he's still deciding.
I don't know if he's still deciding, but if the president decides to sit down with Robert Mueller, it's a mistake. They can't indict you. The only reason would be to use that testimony for an impeachment. And by the way, the president has the right to fire anyone for one reason, two reasons, no reasons, or any reasons. So what are we talking about? And when you think about it, Rod Rosenstein, the guy who recommended that Jim Comey be fired, he's in charge of the investigation. So he should be charged as a co-conspirator and obstruction of justice.
Judge,
the whole thing is absurd.
What if he decides not to sit down with Robert Mueller? What happens next?
Subpoena power.
Well, then they would subpoena him, and then we would be in a situation where they would fight. Yeah, there would be a fight. There would be a legal fight. You cannot subpoena the president for this, and there is no point to it. And what Mueller is doing, look, I was a prosecutor. If I want to indict somebody, I'm not going to say to him, you've got to come in and talk to me. He doesn't have to come in and talk to me. You have the evidence, Mr. Mueller. Put it up or shut the whole thing down.
All right, so
Judge,
don't talk to him. He gets subpoenaed and he can say, no, you can't subpoena me, and that's the end of it, right?
Well, it'll probably, there'll be a lot of legal arguments that'll go up to the appellate courts.
You mentioned the legislative branch. We all know that yesterday there were two meetings with legislature representatives and the Department of Justice. In the first one, apparently, Trey Gowdy and Devin Nunes wanted to see different things like the scope memo, wanted more information about this confidential informant, and it doesn't sound like they wound up seeing something, an unredacted version. Clearly, the Department of Justice feels that these members of Congress on the Republican side shouldn't take a look at these things that the Mueller investigation actually has unfettered access to.
Gee, what a shock. You know, here's the problem. The Department of Justice is slow walking. They don't want to give any information to Congress. They are ignoring the fact that Congress has oversight. Congress has the power to oversee what they're doing and to make sure that they are not going beyond what is allowed legally. And what they're trying to do is wait until the 2018 midterms, which come up in about 6 months. Hopefully they'll get they want someone in the House. They want a majority in the House. This has to finish. It has to be over. Congress has to get off its stuff, hold people in contempt. That's it.
But Judge, they're trying to get the documents, but the Department of Justice is apparently, they're going, okay, we've got the document right here. We will explain to you what's on it, but we're not going to let you see it.
Yeah, well, that's a problem. And as far as I'm concerned, at that point, the people in the Department of Justice, whether it's Rod Rosenstein, I don't care who it is, they have to be impeached. They are not doing their job. They are conflicted. They have an agenda. They are stonewalling. They are ignoring congressional oversight.
Adam Schiff came out and said, I was in that meeting. Nothing new here. There was no spy in the Trump camp. I guess discounting things that were written.
Is this the same Adam Schiff who said...
He probably wrote it before he went in.
Yeah, this is the same Adam Schiff who says there is evidence of collusion, which, by the way, Adam, it's not a crime. I know you used to be a prosecutor, but you have to bone up a little. And in terms of Adam Schiff saying there is no evidence of spy in the campaign, is it a spy that's the ambiguous in the campaign? Is there surveillance? Is it a human source? Come on, we're playing words here. It's all so Clinton-esque.
It is pretty amazing. They come out of a classified briefing and they read a statement. The Republicans wouldn't say anything.
And by the way, he wasn't supposed to be in that briefing. It was a gang of 8, but he has such a big mouth, they let him in.
Yeah, we'll be watching tonight. She's going to be filling in for Hannity tonight, so it's always such a good show.
All right.